Hi everyone. I finally got my Cocoa Daisy box. This is for January 2021 in the mail this past week, so I thought I'd do a quick unboxing for you guys and do a setup of my planner. So this collection from Cocoa Daisy is called New Chapters, and it's for January 2021. And this first kit here is the main planner kit. And I got the mini Daisy Dory to go in my field note size traveler's notebook. So when I unbox my pouches, I usually put kind of like all the washi tapes and pens, pencils, paper clips, and things like that in the planner pouch that usually comes in the main kit. And then these die cut pieces I'll usually sort into, these are they're meant to hold 4x6 photos, but I find them handy for storing die cut pieces. So I sort everything with words into one bin, and then everything that's kind of more decorative, like tabs and things like that, into another bin. The stickers I'll put aside in one pile, and all the pattern papers I'll put aside in one pile. So this is part of the planner add-on kit. And again, it comes with some washi tape that I'll put in the pouch, paper clips, and writing implements I'll also put in that pouch. This one here is a pencil. And same thing with the die cuts. So I'll sort them into my clear plastic containers here. And beneath my containers, you'll see a glassine bag with the pocket cards that come with the planner add-on, as well as the sticker sheets. So the pocket cards I usually put together in a pouch with the all the pattern papers, and the sticker sheets I'll keep in a separate pouch. And I find that by organizing all of my kit contents in advance, it helps me with when I'm actually doing my memory keeping and doing my planning. So next up we have the new Modern Memory Keeping Kit from Cocoa Daisy, and I subscribed to this one since it changed from the Pocket Memory Keeping Kit, because I like the fact that now we have two of each of the pattern papers instead of just one like it used to, and that it has less pocket cards. So because most of my memory keeping is done in like kind of mini albums and kind of outside the pocket, I do appreciate having the extra pattern papers so that I can construct my own flips and flaps and interactive pockets. So after I've gone through all these pocket cards, I just put them in the same bag as the pocket cards from the planner add-on kit and my pattern papers, and then the die cuts I'll sort in the same way that I sorted the planner die cuts. Just giving a quick heads up that the next kit that I'm going to be unpackaging is the planner classified kit, so if you'd like that to stay classified and not have any spoilers, then just pause the video now. So for February, I have unsubscribed to the planner classified kit and subscribed to the memory keeping classified kit instead, just because even though I really like the vellum and the acetate papers that come in the classified kit, I find I don't use the rest of the kit very much, so I thought the memory keeping one would be a bit more suitable for me. Here I'm just pulling out my binder of ink swatches of all the inks that I have, and I'm just comparing those with the colors on the front page of the mini Daisy Dory, as well as that swatch sheet that comes in the planner add-on kit, just to pick out my colors for what inks I'll be using to do my stamping. And here are the colors that I picked out for this month. So I'm just removing the staples from my mini Daisy Dory, and the reason why is I like to remove the craft cover and pick out a pattern piece of paper to use as my cover instead. I just find that provides a bit more color when I'm flipping through my planner. So I'm just using the old cover as a template to see how big I need to cut that pattern piece of paper to. And the next thing I'm going to do is score this in half, just to prevent any cardstock from cracking when I'm folding it over the booklet here. And the next thing I'm going to do is decorate the front of the cover for my Daisy Dory. So I have here one of the old stamp sets from Cocoa Daisy that has all the months written in their house font, as well as some numbers that I use the 20 and the 21 to try to stamp out the year 2021. And I do find that I have to stamp the 20 separately from the 21 to get the numbers to be sufficiently close enough together. And next what I'm going to do is go through my sticker stash, and I just picked out these birds from the planner classified kit and just placing them over the area. So like I'm placing the pink bird over where the pink color is and the green bird over where the green color is. I just thought that created a nice effect. And next I thought this page kind of looked a bit too colorful, so I'm pulling out that black and white chevron washi that we got in our kit, just to kind of tone things down a bit there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'll just get one of those scrap pieces of paper that I have left over from when I cut that cover for my mini Dory, and I'm just going to adhere part of it onto the front cover here after I rip it up a bit to make it look a bit more natural without the harsh cut lines. This is something that I do for all of my mini Dories that I get. And I just use some washi tape to just kind of make this card a bit more decorated on the front here. So another reason why I like to take the staples off of my Daisy Dory inserts before I do my planner setup is so that I can do some stamping in the pages without having too much bulk underneath. So here I do take one of the older Cocoa Daisy stamps. I think this came in the May kit last year to stamp out some planner trackers, and I'm just stamping them out on some plain copy paper here. I should probably also mention that the colored ink cubes that I'm using are from Altenew, and the Harry Potter stamping block that I used is from Sassy Club, and I'll be sure to link all of the products down in the description box below. So to decorate this page for my trackers, I'm just using some washi tape and kind of layering them up over each other to create a spot for my banner, and that one is from the main planner kit. And then I'm just adhering these trackers down with my Tombow Mono Permanent Adhesive Tape Runner. I do like to be quite minimalistic in my planning, so I just keep things flat by using copy paper when I'm doing stamping, if I'm not stamping directly on the page, and using stickers instead of like chipboard pieces or things like that, just because I do carry my planner around with me in my purse, and I just want to make sure that it's not too bulky, not like my memory keeping albums. On the next page is where I list all of my finance categories, so all of my expenses, and at the end of the month, after I've calculated how much I've spent in each category, I'll record them down on this page here so that it's easier to transcribe onto my, I keep track of all the expenses in my, just on an Excel spreadsheet, so that's what that page is for. And here I'm just picking out some of those adhesive back die cuts to put on the bottom of that page. I do like the fact that these are already adhesive backed so that I don't have to use my tape runner, especially because some of those pieces are a bit smaller. Here I'm just counting out the number of weekly spreads that this mini Daisy booklet has. I am a Sunday start girl, so there are 6 weeks in January, and there are only 5 weeks of weekly spreads in this first half of the Cocoa Daisy booklet. So I'm just trying to decide if I even want to include January 1st and 2nd in this booklet, just because by the time I filmed this video it was like January 6th, I think, but I decided that if I didn't include days 1 and 2 in this booklet, that would just throw me off looking back, if I ever looked back on them. So here I'm just dividing my weekly spreads into 4 sections. I do like my Saturdays and Sundays to be the same size as my the rest of the days of the week, just because weekends I tend to do more of anyways, and then I have an extra spot at the end of the week where I can put my meal planning. And I'm just using the sticker sheet that comes in the main planner kit to label my days of the week here. Another reason why I like to take apart my Cocoa Daisy booklets and remove the staples is so that I can take the pages apart if I want to do any stamping and just make sure that I have a flat surface to stamp on. So the top of this page is looking a bit bare to me right now, so I'm just picking out some of the flower stamps that come in the that stamp set came in the memory keeping kit, and I'm just stamping out some flowers. And I'm also stamping using that arrow stamp. I'm doing a bit of off stamping, so I stamp once and then I stamp again so that the repeat stamp is a lighter color, and that just fills out the extra space that I have there. I do find that the paper that Cocoa Daisy uses in these inserts is very high in quality, so it's very smooth and thick enough so that even with that darker purple that I stamped, there's not really a lot of bleed through onto the back of the page or any ghosting. So I do like the fact that I can layer on some stamps on top of the artwork that's already provided on the pages. One thing to note though is that those bands of color that you see across the page, I've noticed that if I try to write with the Cocoa Daisy pen, like any gel pen, on top of those, sometimes it doesn't write very well. So I don't know if like the ink that they use gives the page kind of like a coating, but sometimes I do use ballpoint pens when I'm writing on top of those strips. Just so that it writes a bit easier. Otherwise, the gel pen tends to skip a bunch. You'll also notice that I'm using craft tweezers to place all of these stickers. I just find that the craft tweezers lets me line up the bottom half of that sticker to the top half a bit easier. So that's why I'm using tweezers for this type of sticker placement. And I did find the top of this particular spread a bit bare as well, so I'm going to be pulling out my stamp set again that came in that memory keeping kit, and just stamping with the large outline of the flower. And I'm just going to be alternating colors between pink and purple across the top of this page here, and just kind of stamping off of the page so that only half the flower is on the page. Here I'm just applying a bit of washi tape to mask off that second part of the page because that actually belongs to a different spread, so I didn't want any of that purple flower to get onto that page, and I thought that turned out pretty cute. Just wanted to mention as well that a lot of these companies that I'm using, they do have quite generous referral codes. So like for example, Cocoa Daisy will give you $10 off your next purchase if you subscribe using a referral code. Altenew also has a referral code. They're the ones that I get the mini ink cubes from. And then Sassy Club, where I got my stamping block from, also has a referral code. So if there are any referral codes for any of the products, I'll link them down below just to give you guys a bit of a discount, as well as I get perks as well if you use my referral code. So yeah. This page here, because I did want to include the January 31st onto this page, I just drew a diagonal line through that last section that I have, just so that I can fit both days on. For this spread, I like the purple and pink theme, so I didn't want to add any color to my stamping, and that's why I just used some black ink to stamp that flower outline, as well as some of the plus sign symbols around there. Every month I like to have a currently page in my mini dory as well, so I'm using this stamp set that I got from Kelly Stamps. It's called Currently, and I stamped the currently in black up on top there, and then I just stamped reading, watching, and listening in different colors. I've yet to find a stamp that says looking forward to, and that is something that I like to include in my planners, just to give me kind of something to look forward to, like that might be coming up next month or in the near future. So I'm just going to handwrite looking forward to on this page as well. And this is a page that I'll fill out gradually throughout the month. It's just a nice way for me to look back on what types of things I was interested in at this time. The next page that I have in my Daisy Dory is a month at a glance page. So here is where I usually put things that were kind of going on during the month. So it could be major headlines, In the past, I've included things like the price of oil, just because that does fluctuate throughout the years. Maybe some movies or songs that were popular or that were just released. And that's something that I usually fill out at the end of the month. So the latter portion of the Cocoa Daisy mini dory always has kind of like similar to the beginning of the Daisy Dory, where they have the two stripes of colors going across, dividing the page into kind of three sections, the top section being more decorative, except this part is, it has a dot grid, whereas the front part has kind of like faded grid lines. So this part I like to use for my finance tracking. So if you remember the categories on my finance page, at the beginning of the Daisy Dory booklet, I just write out those categories in each of these sections. Some of the categories have more than one section. So for example, groceries, I've designated like a whole 2 spread page designated to groceries, just because prior to COVID, I used to go grocery shopping like sometimes every day, just because I'm forgetful, and sometimes I'll like forget milk, or that I'll need eggs for a recipe or something like that. So that's why I have so much room for groceries. But basically, I have the first column is for the date that I made the purchase. The middle column is for the description of what the purchase was. And then the last column is for the amount. And then at the end of the month, I do a total of all of the different categories and then record them on that front page that I had set aside for my finance tracking. So that completes my mini Daisy Dory, and I'm just gathering up all the pages, lining them up, and using my saddle stitch stapler to staple it back together again. So the next insert that I'm working on for my traveler's notebook is this monthly planner, and this is using a printable from Printable Pineapple, and I will link that down in the description box below. And basically this is just a month on 2 pages that I use for my future planning. And this is, once it's folded, it's the same size as a field notes notebook. So it's 3.5 inches by 5.5 inches once it's folded. And so I printed off the title page on some craft cardstock, and then the month on 2 pages on some plain copy paper. And you'll notice that the first page that I have is a lined paper, and that comes with the printable as well. So next I'm just folding all the pages in half. I don't bother scoring these first before I fold them, just because copy paper is fairly lightweight, so it's easy to fold. But the craft cardstock I do score before I fold it in half. Before I cut off the edges, I like to staple it first, just because if you cut them to size before you staple them together, because the cover has to wrap around all of the paper, sometimes if you cut it first and then staple it, it ends up being a bit too short. So I like to just staple mine before I trim them down. And I used my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper to round the corners of this notebook. Here I'm just using some stickers and some of the washi tape. The stickers are from the main planner kit from Cocoa Daisy, and the washi tape I think was from the memory keeping kit. And I'm just decorating the top of this month at a glance page here and just filling in all of my numbers. The insert does come undated, so I do have to fill in the numbers myself, but the bonus is that I only had to buy this once, and I've used this insert for I think 3 years now, so it's really worth the money if you don't mind labeling in all the days yourself. And here I remembered that that sticker sheet from the main planner kit has some specific days labeled, like usually they include some holidays, or like International Chocolate Day, I think was one of these. So I just included those in my mini Daisy Dory as well. And now I'm just going to finish up the rest of my monthly booklet. So now that my inserts are all done, I'm just putting them into my traveler's notebook. This month I'm using the Creme Brule leather, and this is the Black Beauty color, and this is from Chic Sparrow. and I'm just putting in my monthly booklet first, and then next I have this clear pocket that's from the Traveler's Notebook Company, and this is the same size as a passport traveler's notebook, so it is slightly shorter than the field notes inserts that I have, but I don't mind that it's a bit short. And here I'm just taking some pattern papers and pocket cards just to help decorate this clear pocket a bit. I make sure that I'm using double-sided pattern papers for this, just so that I only have to put in one piece of pattern paper and it shows up on both sides. The next insert I have is my mini Daisy Dory, and then in the back there I just have a writing board as well as the calendar that I got from Field Notes. My last insert here is from the Field Notes Company, and it is the Vignettes edition. It's like a limited edition that they did. And here it comes with a template so that you can add your own photo or card into that slot there, and it shows up in the front. So I used that template to just trim out some pattern paper and put some stickers on it so that the front of that booklet at least kind of matches the theme of the rest of my setup. And here I'm just using my pencil board to attach some of those sticky notes in so that I can have a couple of sticky notes when I'm out and about. So the last thing that I'm going to do is take one of those paper clips. This one has a charm that says Dream, Believe, Achieve, and I'm going to take it off of the paper clip and add it to one of those lobster clasp things and just attach it to the front of my notebook. And that pretty much finishes my planner setup. Alright, so I'll just do a quick flip through now that I have everything set up. So here's the little charm that I made from the paper clip that was part of the planner kit. And here's the pen that came in the planner kit. And here I have my pocket with some photos and my monthly planner. So this will go all the way actually to January of 2022. But this page will, like, I'll usually transcribe onto the new year once I get 2022 set up, but that's what my month is looking like so far. And then after that I have my Cocoa Daisy Mini Dory insert. So I haven't filled out any of these trackers yet. I did fill out some of these days with my schedule. Usually the currently page I'll fill out more closer to the end of the month, as well as some of these blank pages here I'll use for notes or memory keeping, things like that. Finance section, I've filled out a bit of that section already. And then last but not least, my field notes bullet journal type setup here. I do have a flip through of this journal in another flip through video, so I'll link that down in the comments below because it's essentially the same. And here is my final pocket with the sticky notes. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks very much for watching, and make sure you subscribe for more videos.